Are you ready, David?
I am ready. We're ready for you.
Okay, great. So let's call to order the City of Camarillo Planning Commission, the regular meeting of June 16th, 2020. Welcome, everyone. Good to see you. Mr. Secretary, could we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Edsel.
Here.
Commissioner Espinoza.
Here.
Commissioner Vandermeulen.
Here.
Vice Chair Talmadge.
Here.
Chairman Murphy.
And I'm here too. That makes all 5 of us. That's great. Again, good to see everyone. That brings us to the Pledge of Allegiance. Vice Chair Talmadge, could you please lead us in the flag salute?
Please place your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you for that. Brings us to our review of the minutes from our most recent meeting, a regular Plan Commission meeting of June 2nd, 2020. Do we have any commissioner comments, questions on those minutes?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Edsel, I believe, and seconded by Commissioner Vandermeulen. Let's go ahead and vote.
That was Mr. Espinosa that made the motion.
That was, sorry, Luis. Moved by Commissioner Espinosa, seconded by Commissioner Vandermeulen. Let's go ahead and vote. Commissioner Edsel.
Here, yes, approve.
Okay. Commissioner Espinosa.
Yes.
Commissioner Vandermeulen.
Yes.
Vice Chair Talmadge.
Yes.
All right, and I'm a yes as well, so the minutes are approved 5-0. Thank you. That moves us into public comments for this evening. This is the time in which the public can come forward and provide their input on any item that is not on the agenda tonight. Mr. Secretary, do we have anyone from the public that would like to do so?
No public comments, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. No public comment, then we'll go ahead and close public comment and move right into item 6 on our agenda, which is the application for a public hearing for the application of LD 550 and CPD 248 Haley Properties LLC. Could we please have a staff report on that?
Thank you, Chairman Murphy, members of the Planning Commission. Before we dive into this presentation tonight, I did want to provide a little bit of background on this project. Back in the end of 2019, the applicant reached out to staff with a pre-application with this proposal for a parcel map and to construct a new automotive service station to be occupied by America's Tire in the northeast corner of the property that's currently owned and occupied by Home Depot. Staff worked with the applicant, worked on the architecture of the building, and became aware that the applicant is attempting to purchase the property that this parcel map would create. The caveat in that sale is that they would need to close escrow by the end of the year. So staff encouraged the applicant to apply as soon as possible for a parcel map because plan check with Ventura County can take several months. Staff worked really well with the applicant. They were very responsive, and we actually have the permit for your consideration tonight 29 days after the application was submitted, which is generally unheard of. Typically, when an application is submitted, we have 30 days to determine whether or not the application is even complete, and here we are 29 days later bringing this to hearing. So we're really excited about this project. The applicant worked well with staff, with community development, with public works. Everybody chipped in on this, and we're really proud to be able to bring this to you at such a short time frame. So without further ado, this is LD 550 and CPD 248 for Hale Properties LLC. Here is the project site. You can see here in the northeast corner is where parcel 1 will be located at the completion of LD 550 and the project site for CPD 248. The blue parcel is the one that would remain and is occupied by Home Depot, which is located at 401 Ventura Boulevard. The parcel map under LD 550 would subdivide the existing 12.39 acre parcel into two parcels. Parcel 1 in the northeast corner to be the location of CPD 248 would be 0.89 acres, and the remaining parcel 2 where Home Depot is located will be 11.5 acres. The parcels were reviewed against the municipal code for the CPD zone. The minimum lot size in the CPD zone is 10,000 square feet. Lot width and depth are both 100 feet. As you can see here in the table, both parcel 1 and parcel 2 do comply with the requirements of the CPD zone. Additionally, the staff report mentions that there is a landscape requirement for the Airport North specific plan, and a point of clarification is that this specific land use is not listed in the land use table for landscape coverage. Therefore, the landscape coverage would default to the CPD zone, which is a 10% requirement, and both of these lots do comply with the 10% landscape coverage requirement. The request for a CPD 248 is to construct a 7,373 square foot automotive service station that will be occupied by America's Tire. The building does comply with all of these setback requirements of the CPD zone. There's a 40-foot setback from the front yard, 40 from the side yard, and a 10-foot rear yard setback. We've also reviewed the proposal against the parcel map, and the existing Home Depot building will also comply as seen in the table in front of you. Staff has analyzed parking for the proposal. The land division and parcel map would split portions of the parking that's existing for Home Depot and allocate that to the new parcel that would be for America's Tire. As you can see, the parcel apologize, the table is incorrect. Parcel 2 is Home Depot. Parcel 2 will retain sufficient parking for the Home Depot, as you can see in the square footage breakdown in front of you. And Parcel 1, which is the proposed automotive service station, will provide 6 bays and retail office space and provide 32 parking spaces, while 23 are required. So both parcels will be in compliance with the parking requirement for the CPD zone. As you can see here, this is the floor plan of the proposed building. On the first floor, there are 6 service bays, an office, there is a showroom, and several storage rooms and utility rooms. On the mezzanine floor, it's a metal grate that provides a mezzanine to give access to additional storage racks, and there are some storerooms, one of which does contain a roof ladder access. The proposed building is located in the Heritage Zone, which does have enhanced design requirements per the city's general plan. The building, they worked with staff on the initial pre-app and through the application process to enhance the design of this proposed building to be in compliance with the Heritage Zone requirements. This elevation here is the south elevation facing the Home Depot and includes brick veneer, precast concrete wainscoting, a trellis feature, precast molding around the doors, and tile roof. This is the elevation on the north side facing the 101 freeway with brick veneer. It's got a tile roof and fabric awnings. The elevation here faces the east. This will face Overland Drive. The back side of the building will contain additional vine pockets, and as well as the other architectural features on the other sides of the building. And finally, this is the west elevation that will face the interior of the parking lot that has the roll-up doors where access to the bays will be provided. Both the LD 550 and CPD 248 were reviewed in accordance with CEQA. LD 550 is exempt under a Class 15 minor land division, and CPD 248 is exempt under a Class 3 new construction or conversion of small structures exemption. Staff recommends approval of the proposed LD 550 and CPD 248. The action of the Planning Commission is final unless an appeal is filed within 10 days of their action. That concludes staff's report.
All right, thank you, John. Nice report, and amazing that you could bring this one to the commission in such a swift manner. It's shows how the city's working hard to process the applications. Do we have any commissioner questions for staff at this time? Commissioner Etzel?
I just have the one comment, and I asked one of these earlier in the Architectural Review Committee, but I thought it'd be helpful for anybody that's watching to kind of talk a little bit about the Airport North specific plan and what design things were considered in that, and then the heritage zone. I know you talked a little bit about it, but the fact, I think sometimes people are confused that it means that we're supposed to have Spanish style, and what are the options on that, just to kind of clarify that, if you would.
Absolutely. So the Airport North specific plan is intended more for development standards, has building height, enhanced setback requirements, and is more about the overall development. The heritage zone is an enhanced design requirement that's in the general plan community design element. The heritage zone is 500 feet on the north and south side of the 101 freeway and within 1,000 feet of any of the interchanges off of the 101 freeway. This particular piece of property does fall within that 500 feet and is subject to the heritage zone requirements, which has a range of architectural styles that are available, typically Spanish, Mediterranean, early Californian. There's a couple of others, and modern interpretations are acceptable as part of that. So you won't always see everything looking Spanish, everything looking Mediterranean, and you can have the more modern interpretation. So as long as it falls within that general style of architecture, and the design is enhanced, so that way people going down the 101 corridor will see this enhanced view of the city of Camarillo as they drive through. So we try to make sure that any development that happens within that heritage zone is held to an even higher standard than our already high standards in the city.
Thank you, John.
Any other? Commissioner Espinosa, go ahead, please.
Thank you for the background at the outset of the report, because it really was a question I was going to have when I was looking through the staff report. I was interested in knowing, it appeared that the applicant was going to be requesting not only the approval of the subdividing of the parcel, but also the development of the project. And I was wondering whether or not they were going to be leasing the property, because it just only listed the property owner, and it didn't really indicate a sale of property in that of what I was reading. So if it had not been sold, would it have had to have been the owner that was requesting the parcel subdivision?
Yes, the property owner, which is Home Depot, is required to sign off on the application for the parcel map and give their consent to allow Hale Properties LLC to file that application on their behalf. So Home Depot is aware of the process tonight and has granted their consent to create this parcel map.
Okay, yeah. And then the other question I had was on just looking at the one site map. I saw that there was a water main and a water easement on the parcel. That seems atypical as to how the water supply lines and system came off of the public right-of-way and went across the parcel like that. I was wondering if there's a reason that happened, or whenever it did happen, if anybody in staff might know why that was done that way.
It appears that it's on the site plan there. Are you talking about that northeast corner where you see the dotted line going close to the corner of the building? Is that the location?
Yeah, you see the blue water supply line that cuts across. There's a water easement, 10-foot water easement, and the line, instead of going to the intersection like they typically do, it's cutting across the parcel. And I was wondering if there was some background or history as to why it was done that way.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this is Tally, City Engineer. Those are old easements. Ventura Boulevard used to go right next to the freeway, even back from when the Target Center was built. So these are old water line easements that date back to the early 90s, late 90s when Target Center came in. So first it was Target Center, and they had to relocate Ventura Boulevard. And then Ventura used to go up and go all the way through. So what's Overland Road there used to actually go along the freeway again. So first they relocated the road for Target Center, and then they relocated the road. The city did Ventura Boulevard over to Springville Drive. So during all that, there's just a lot of old utilities. That is a public line, so they will be required to keep their building out of our easement.
Yeah. Okay, so it was just existing that they just left there even when they did the road improvements.
Correct. Oh, yes, that's been existing for quite some time. So even when Home Depot came in,
Okay.
It's not a part of the.
All right, thank you. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, Luis, I'm glad you asked that question. I was kind of curious about that too. Commissioner or Vice Chair Talmadge, do you have a question?
Question about landscaping. I know that there's one of the exhibits shows just a green area around that's landscaping. The existing site has a number of trees and other landscaping on it. Are those going to be taken out and new trees put in? Or I notice it's not called out as trees, but there's some weird little circles in what is the green area, and I'm assuming that those could be large pine-type trees. Am I wrong? On the exhibit that you have up on the screen right now, one of these circles shows, it's right below the call out for the easement line, or whatever the line is. But it's right near the parcel map, and it's in what appears to be the landscape area. And I don't know if that's a tree that remains or a tree that will be torn out or what.
So what's that? That's showing is a conceptual landscape area. The project is going to keep as much of the existing landscaping as they can with the development. However, as one of the conditions, they are required to submit a landscaping plan to the city for approval.
Yeah.
But basically,
I know that.
it's going to be existing to the extent that we can possibly preserve it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, can I add to that?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah, one of my concerns when I looked at the site was the 3 really nice trees that are at the northeast corner of that site. Mm-hmm. And it looks like either the building may encroach on at least one of them, but they were really nice trees there at the corner, especially when you drive around the corner. Yeah. So I was concerned if any of those were going to be able to be saved.
So we'll be trying to preserve the existing landscape on site to the extent feasible. However, if some of the trees are going to be removed, it'll be subject to review under a landscape plan as well. So we'll make sure that that corner does still retain some attractive landscaping so that it doesn't look barren.
Okay, because they are really nice looking trees.
All right. Any other questions from the commissioners? Vice Chair Talmadge, go ahead.
I have one other question. There's a limited amount of parking that's shown within the parcel that would be purchased by American Tire. And then the rest of the parking is, the northernmost part of the parking lot serving Home Depot, which rarely people park up there anyway. I'm just curious if there's an agreement between American's Tire and Home Depot with respect to parking. Or are you saying that this slide that you just put up on the screen says they don't need to have an agreement?
No, I think they're...
Technically speaking, per the code, they would not need a parking agreement because each parcel would retain enough parking. parking. However, there will be an agreement between Home Depot and this new parcel for common access and parking.
Okay, all right.
That's great. Any other questions for the commissioners of staff? Commissioner Vandermeulen?
I think I'm good. A couple of my questions have already been answered. I was also interested in whether they were going to be purchasing when I saw some of the things with items that they were going to be either recorded or shared would be passing on if it was sold. So I think that was answered. And as far as, the building, the only thing that bothered me in the building was the waiting room area that seemed really just open and like too exposed for people waiting and sitting. But there was one question I had on the first floor on the blueprint. In the tire area, the gray part with a little circle on it that looks like another grate or another, like the same grating as on the mezzanine. I didn't know what that area is. It's in the tire rack areas, the rectangle. It's on that screen that's up.
The plans that we have do not specify specifically what that is. However, the applicants are available on Zoom and would be able to answer that question better than I could.
Okay, I just couldn't figure out what it was, and I couldn't find an explanation of it. It just looked strange.
Chairman and Commissioners, Don Frelko with America's Tire Company. What you're looking at there is an area where a flat tank or a large tank sits, where we have to dunk the tire in water to determine if there is a leak in the tire. And so we put a grating there so that it's not wet on the floor and it creates a safe environment.
Thank you.
Okay, and we'll have an opportunity for further questions of the applicant just a little bit down the road here.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And the only comment that I had, John, we talked about earlier, and that was the landscaping coverage. Thank you for that clarification. By the way, I was a little bit confused about the 15% versus the 10%. My understanding at this point is that it's not the airport's requirement of 15%, it's the city's requirement of 10%. And as that is the case, this application passes in flying colors in terms of the landscaping requirement. Is that understanding correct?
Yes, that is correct. This is in compliance with the code.
Excellent. All right, any other questions by the commissioners of staff? Seeing none, then we will go ahead and move into the public testimony. And at this time, if we have a representative of the applicant that may wish to speak about the project, do we have an applicant representative for this?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Commissioners, again, Don Frelko with America's Tire Company. I just want to thank staff for working with us and being very diligent in bringing this before you as quickly as possible. I'd be happy to answer any questions if there are any other questions. Otherwise, just thankful of staff and the commission for getting this done so quickly to make this deal happen with Home Depot.
Thank you for working with City to do that. The timing, again, is pretty amazing to me. Commissioner Vandermeulen, did Don's answer on that, the gray rectangle in the tank, did that satisfy your
Yes,
question?
it did. Make sure I'm back up. Yes, it did.
Great. Do we have any other questions by the commissioners for the applicant representative, Don Threlkill?
I have one. Out of curiosity, on the tire racks, do they go up, they extend all the way up through the mezzanine from the floor, all in like one piece up to the mezzanine?
Yes, that is correct. They're a freestanding metal structure that are bolted to the slab and extend all the way through. We call it a catwalk, which provides, an area where somebody can stand on safely without having to be on a ladder to access the tires above head height.
Wow. Very tall. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Espinosa, go ahead, please.
I wonder if the applicant will, if they have a timeline, best case scenario timeline goal for the project.
Again, Don Thrillkill, thank you for. I would have told you about 2 months ago that yes, we have a timeline and we knew exactly what we were doing. As everyone knows, everything's a little bit in flux. The purchase is going to be as soon as possible. I don't know if you guys know, but America's Tire, Hawley Properties, and Discount Tire are all part of a national retail chain, and we typically develop between 50 and 60 stores annually throughout the country. We had planned on doing that this year again, and that has been a little bit challenged. We now have about 36 stores that will open this year, and somewhere around 25 to 40 stores for next year. So as quickly as we can, once we own the property, we'd like to develop it as quick as we can. So best case, I would say we should be under construction by the end of this year or first of next year on the best case.
Thank you very much.
All right, do we have any other further questions from the commissioners for the project applicant? Rep. Yes, Commissioner Talmadge.
Yes, I just wanted to provide a compliment to the applicant, Mr. Threlkeld, and the great cooperation that you have provided to the staff and others to bring this project forward and to really push it along. It's, I'm sure you're tired of the temporary space you're in, and this is a very welcome addition. So thank you for your work.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Jane. Anyone else? Mr. Secretary, do we have anyone from the public that would like to weigh in on this application this evening?
We do not have any public comment speakers.
All right, that being the case, then we'll go ahead and close the public testimony and move on to the architectural review. Do we have an architectural review report this evening?
Thank you. We met and looked over all the plans, as far as architecturally from the outside. And we appreciated that all the sides of the buildings were considered with some architectural features. We liked the diversity and the contrast in the textures and the colors and the height differences. So basically, we didn't have anything negative to say about it, and we approved it.
All right, that's good to hear. Any questions for the architectural review? All right, seeing none, then we will go ahead and move on to commissioner discussion and recommendations for this application. Would anyone like to start? Commissioner Edsel, please.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect location for what they intend to do out there near the Home Depot. And being in the heritage zone, I think they did a good job. You can't really tell where the back of the building is because they made each side where it was visually attractive, and especially from the freeway vantage point. So I think it'll be a good project, good for the city, and an attractive project. So I support it.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Espinosa, go ahead, please.
Yeah, likewise, I think it's been a great business and a great service to the community. It was unfortunate, the temporary location they had, which is in the comparison off the beaten path. But I think they've got a great spot there, location, the circumstances that they were able to make the arrangements to identify that location and essentially have that kind of visibility from the freeway should be good for them. And I think it's compatible with everything and compliant with everything. So it's a great project, and it looks like it's going to have a great appearance as well.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Vandermeulen?
I really like the plan, the location. I think there's a great ability of the ease of customer access to the building. It looks like it's not really interfering with the parking at all to Home Depot. Easy access in and out and around. I really do like the look of it. They've done a lot of good work on that. And I would like to see this go forward.
All right. Thank you. Vice Chair Talmadge?
Much of what I have to say has already been said. I think it's an excellent project. I think the applicant has done a wonderful job in coordinating with staff, and they've come up, I think, with a great product and a real asset for the city. It's a prime location. It is next to the freeway and provides a service that we all use at one time or another, like it or not. But I think they've done a good job putting this together, and I fully support the project as presented.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I don't have a lot to add to that. I'm amazed that a new and important project could come along and be carved into a relatively new site and still meet parking requirements and minimum lot size, landscape requirements. It's great to see America Tires staying in town. Just outstanding job by everyone working together, doing it in a very short period of time. I can support the project as well. So, can we go ahead and have a call for a resolution at this point?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we're going to take the resolution separately, and we'll start with the land division. Resolution number PC 2020-13, a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Camarillo, approving a request from Hale Properties, LLC, for a land division application to subdivide approximately 12.39 acre lot into two parcels of approximately 0.89 acres, parcel 1, and 11.5 acres, parcel 2, located at 401 West Ventura Boulevard in the Commercial Plan Development Zone, further described as LD-550.
I'll make a motion to waive further reading and vote for adoption.
I'll second that.
All right, for the land division, it's been moved by Commissioner Etzel, seconded by Commissioner Vandermeulen. Let's go ahead and vote. Commissioner Vandermeulen?
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa?
Yes.
Commissioner Etzel?
Yes.
Vice Chair Talmadge?
Yes.
And I'm a yes too, so the land division carries 5-0. And we have a resolution for CBD, for the CPD.
Yes, it's
Please.
resolution number PC 2020-14, a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Camarillo, approving a request from Hale Properties, LLC, for a commercial plan development permit to construct a new 7,373 square foot automotive service station for America's Tire, located at 401 West Ventura Boulevard in the Commercial Plan Development Zone, further described as CPD-248.
I'll make a motion to waive further reading and vote for the adoption.
I'll second.
So for the CPD, it's been moved by Commissioner Etzel, seconded by Commissioner Espinosa. Let's go ahead and vote. Commissioner Espinosa, please.
Yes.
Commissioner Vandermeulen.
Yes.
Commissioner Etzel.
Yes.
Vice Chair Talmadge.
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. It passes 5-0. Thank you to staff and congratulations to the applicants. moves us into the item 7, which is the director's report. Do we have a report?
Yes, I just have one item I'd like to share with the Planning Commission right now. Our next meeting and only meeting will be in July. Will be July 14th. We do plan on anticipate having a meeting that day. We have an item already scheduled for that meeting, so please plan on attending that one. And really, that was the comment that I wanted to make.
All right, thank you. Do we have any final commissioner comments for the evening? By showing of hand or whatever? Vice Chair Talmadge, go ahead, please.
Thank you. I want to extend congratulations and job well done to staff in working with the applicant for the package that we approved tonight. It shows that it can be done. A little hard work, and even though we had limited office hours and things like that, it was, I think, a real yeoman's effort to get this project put together and brought forward in a concise and proper manner. So thank you to staff for all their hard work in making this project move quickly through the system. So thank you.
All right, well said. Thank you for that. I agree with that as well. Anyone else?
Yeah, I also want to likewise thank staff. That something like that really requires a lot of coordination with the existing property owners and finding the solution for a business such as America's Tire and finding the right site and getting everything to work and come together. So I appreciate all the work they did.
All right. Commissioner Vandermeulen?
I just really appreciate the project, and it's really nice when we get a project that we all enjoy and we see the benefits to, and it is all working well, and it's going to be going through, seems like, in a well-run process to get this done. So it's a joy to work on something like this. So thank you.
All right. Anyone else? Commissioner Etzel? No?
I just echo the comments of everybody else, and it is pretty amazing during the shutdown on Zoom and everything that, life kind of goes on and things still get done. So kind of nice. I'm kind of getting used to this format, but
it's kind of nice.
And I miss everybody.
Yeah. We'll see you in living color someday at some point in the future. But yeah, the work does go on. The applications are getting processed, and the staff. It's just I appreciate working with the staff and keeping all of this moving in a forward motion, despite whatever obstacles are out there. So, do we have any further comments? Hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and adjourn this meeting. We'll see you next time.